Hi guys, welcome back to Project Rich Mum. If you are new here, my name is Gemma and I create content all about personal finance and creating additional streams of revenue online. And today's video is another KDP video. I want to show you a way of creating something that is arguably easier to make, certainly easier to market than a notebook. It is super simple, so grab yourselves a drink, let's head to the computer. I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible, and I will show you exactly what I mean. Scrapbooking is a hugely popular hobby, and so has a ready-made targeted audience for you to be able to create these books to sell to. So scrapbook paper is essentially just pieces of paper that are designed to be ripped out of a book to be used in a craft project. So by their very nature, they are single-use products, meaning that people that use them for a hobby are likely to want to regularly replace those and try out new things. So really the sky is the limit when it comes to the type of these books you can create, the themes, the styles. I quickly want to put in my usual warning that I've said in every KDP video that I've made, which is only a handful at this point, and that is you have to be unique. Think outside of the box, go crazy, go wild. That is the way that you're going to stand out in a market that in some niches is getting incredibly saturated at this point. Now, a question that I get asked about KDP a lot is, Gemma, do you create your own illustrations? As a general rule, if I'm creating a children's book that has a character and that character is integral into helping the story move along and helping to tell the story along with the words, then I will create those myself, and I use Procreate for that. For most other stuff, I will head to Creative Fabrica. I've been using Creative Fabrica since I began my KDP journey, and that's what I'm going to be using today to show you how to create these very simple scrapbook paper books. So here we are in Creative Fabrica. If you are not already signed up to a subscription, you can use the link down below and use the trial to try it out. If you do decide to sign up, I would highly recommend that you go for the yearly package if you can, because that brings down the price to the equivalent of $4.99 a month, which is insane value for the amount of products that are on here. Before we get into these very simple scrapbook papers, I just quickly want to say that another idea that you can make, but it's going to take you a little bit more time, but it's within the same scrapbooking niche, and that is to create a book that has lots and lots of different assets that when the customer buys it, they can cut out each one and use it in their craft products. Like I say, that's going to take a lot more time to download all the individual items that you want to use, to put them together. But that's also something to consider if you want to continue within this niche. Now, one of the things that can be a little bit confusing for people is the licensing that comes with Creative Fabrica, and you want to make sure that you have the correct license, that you can use it for your print-on-demand products. One of the easiest ways is just to go into the menu and go down to Pod, Print on Demand, and then everything in here has the license that you need to be able to use. Now, these are the type of things that I was talking about if you wanted to create, you know, those individual items for people to cut out and use. This is the sort of thing that you're going to be looking for. I mean, some of these are so cute. What we're going to do is we're going to type in scrapbook paper, and it's going to bring up every type of paper that is available in all these different designs. There are over 26,000 different designs. If you know what type of craft paper you want to use, then I would try and niche down to go to those specifically, but just for the purposes of today's video, we're just going to go very vague with scrapbook paper. Now you can see there are tons and tons of designs. Personally, I wouldn't download one whole thing and use every design out of those, because if I can do that and put that in a book, you can do that, 1,000 other people can do that, and then we've got, you know, 1,002 of the same book going for sale on KDP, and that is not what we want. That's not good for Amazon, it's not good for you, it's not good for the customer. So I would, if I was going for a Halloween theme, for example, I might take a couple out of this I might then go and take a couple out of this one, take a couple out of this one, maybe take a couple out of this, maybe a couple of bats down here, so that the book that ends up being created is made up of lots and lots of different designs, and therefore it becomes something different. Now there are so many different themes that you can use. As you can see, we've got a lot of Halloween because we're in October. I would guess that right now you've probably missed the boat for this Halloween, but remember, Halloween's going to come around every year, so that's something to think about for next year. But there are so many different themes. Vintage circus, recipe scrapbook, what have we got? Vintage polka dots, watercolor autumn leaves. There are tons and tons of them. And this is the great thing about this, is you can go wild because people are looking for designs of every different type to be able to create their crafts with. The key thing is to make sure that you do your research on Amazon, because you want to know, one, how big the pages are so that the customer is getting what they are expecting to get for the standard of this product. And you also want to check what is the average amount of pages within a book like this. So once you've done that and you've decided on a theme that you want to go for, you've gone through, I mean, it's up to you. You can just pick a couple and use those in their entirety, or you can do like I would do and go through and curate your own from multiple different sources. So like Christmas, for example, you might take a couple from here, you might take a couple from here, maybe you take a couple of red ones from over here. So once you have done that, go over to Canva and you're going to create a custom size based on what size you have decided to go. Now be careful because Canva doesn't print some sizes. So for the purposes of this, I'm going to go for an 8x8. That's 8 inches by 8 inches square. So when you've downloaded all of the assets that you want from Creative Fabrica, you are going to upload them into Canva. And I've just downloaded a couple here just to show you for this example. So you need to decide whether you're going to do single-sided sheets or double-sided, and that's really just a creative choice on your part. So if you are going to do single-sided, you're simply going to take the design, stretch it to fit the size of the paper, and then you're going to press Add Page, and then you're going to press Add Page again. Then you're going to go for your next design. So let's take this one, and you're going to stretch it to fit, and you're going to add a page. And what you're going to get, if we look at the grid view, is this pattern white, and that means that when it's printed, this will be on the front of the sheet and it will be white blank paper on the back. Alternatively, you might decide to go double-sided, so let's get rid of these blank ones, and it's just going to be as simple as duplicating each page. And then if we go back to the grid, you can see now both sides of the page are going to be printed with the pattern. So you're going to go through and do as many pages as you want to do, and then you're going to save it as you would any other interior that you've uploaded into KDP. Now, when it comes to creating a cover, this is what I mean when I say it's arguably easier to market than a notebook, because generally what you want to do is to put the interior pages as your cover so that the customer knows immediately what they can expect and what they are buying, because obviously if they're going to use them for crafts, they want to know what they're getting, right? And a simple cover for this type of scrapbook paper is something as simple as this. Now obviously you are going to make sure that you go over and you start a new document, or you use something like BookBolt to get the cover size absolutely correct. There's a calculator over on Amazon KDP if you want to use Canva, but I'm just going to show you just for demonstration purposes here. So you're simply going to use the patterns that you used for your interior. So we're just going to take each one and we're going to layer them. So let's say you took this one, make it smaller, and obviously you will take much more time and care to make sure that everything is equal and the same size. But you get the gist of what I'm saying. So you do that, then you'll go along and you'll put 4 more designs along the bottom, or 5, or however many you want. And then in the middle, you will put a title that is going to very clearly explain what the customer is getting. So if you have gone for a vintage pink Christmas theme, you're going to put vintage pink Christmas scrapbook paper. You also want to put the size of the paper on the front, and you also want to put how many sheets are inside. I personally would choose to go with sheets over pages. Because these are designed to be cut out or ripped out to be used, there may be some confusion if you put 40 pages, which obviously equates to 20 sheets, that a customer may buy that expecting to have 40 individual sheets. Now, of course, that wouldn't be your fault necessarily as creator, but it can lead to negative reviews if there's misunderstandings, and of course we don't want that. Then you upload it to KDP as you normally would. Make sure that your SEO is on fire and start to build up a bank of all different themes. Remember, think outside of the box, niche down hard, and have fun with it. So that is today's video. I hope you found some value in that. Remember to sign up for Creative Fabrica using the link below if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Take care.